Ah, good evening. Thank you for coming. Please, take a seat. Today I want to tell you a story. It is a tale of great adventure. It is titled The Travels of a Little Squirrel. Deep in the center of the forest, there was a majestic tree. Its roots sprouted deep underground, and its canopy nearly reached the clouds. It easily dwarfed every other tree in the area, almost as if it was their king. A pelican stood at the bottom of the tree. One could tell he was foreign, for no other birds could match his feathers. He was slowly looking left and right, trying to comprehend the sight before him. A little squirrel tugged at the hem of his feathers. He then offered the pelican to fetch some fruit from the highest branch for a prize. The highest fruit was known to be a rare delicacy. The pelican agreed, thinking it would take him a while, but to his surprise, the little squirrel returned quickly, and so the pelican praised him. The little squirrel then explained that they had been growing this tree for many generations, and it eventually reached the height it is today. The pelican, who described himself as a merchant and wayward explorer, described a structure of similar grandeur located deep in the desert. The arid spire, he called it. Though it wasn't quite as tall, it wasn't grown, but completely built from wood and iron. Its construction had been ordered by a monarch long ago who wanted to leave a mark on the world. Finally, the pelican told him that there are many and incredible things in this world that only by seeing yourself you could believe. After that, the two of them parted ways, but the little squirrel kept thinking about those final words. Then from his heart came a new purpose. It would be his dream to travel the world like a little pelican. The little squirrel felt that way, but he wasn't sure if he could fulfill that dream. After all, he was only a measly squirrel. Sure, he could reach the tallest trees, but that was it. If he wanted to travel far, he would need to fly. And the domain of the sky was ruled by birds. His kind only lived in the forest. Despite that, the little squirrel decided to carry on. He then found the pelican and asked to let him fly with them. Surprisingly, the pelican agreed, but under one condition. The little squirrel would have to be carried inside his beak. And so the little squirrel traveled with the pelican and his flock around the world. They flew away to faraway lands, and their wings were swept by the distant storms. They flew over the windy, vast open steppes. Then they landed in a riverside town where they traded with bears for fresh salmon. Finally, they reached the fabled tower in the desert. It was truly more amazing to see in person. The featureless desert landscape surrounding it only enhanced the incredible, imposing presence of the tower. The little squirrel could only wonder how they had managed to build such a thing. One day, their flock was caught by a most ferocious storm, and they were forced to be grounded on a desolate land without food. The pelican took some of his flock to try and find some help. The little squirrel and the rest were left to wait. Yet, they waited and waited, but the pelican never returned. With little option, the rest took the little squirrel and tried to find a settlement themselves. And while in the end they managed to survive, the little squirrel never saw the pelican again. The little squirrel was left in a forest, all the while still weeping from his loss. None of the other birds in the flock wanted to carry him, as none were willing to spare the space. With no way to travel, he asked the other flocks to help him, but all of them turned him down. Then he resorted to begging, but still no one wanted to carry him. In desperation to continue his travels, the little squirrel sneaked into an unaware bird's back. But the bird noticed, and in panic stopper, the little squirrel fell off and plummeted a great height, which caused him to become gravely injured. The other animals in the forest found him. Feeling pity at his condition, they decided to take him into their homes and mended his wounds. As it so happens, the one tasked to help him was a little rabbit. In return for his care, the little squirrel told the rabbit of his great adventures, and how he met the pelican and their travels together. But by the end of the story, it only told of his great misfortunes. The rabbit then asked him if he regretted everything. The little squirrel then fell into deep thought. Finally he answered, "One cannot regret if they never took the first step." And thus concludes our story. Thank you for listening and have a great day.